My name is Margaret. I've not spoken at any of those events before, and I actually am a victim of the legal service like everybody else here, but I'm also a victim of carbon monoxide poisoning. That's where my problem started, and as a consequence I've got some brain injuries. This was why I started on the legal route. I really was on my own, and up until very recently I have done most of this on my own, and I took my case quite a long way. I took it, I wanted, not for the money, I didn't even understand actually about compensation. I simply wanted to expose the dangers of carbon monoxide, which is coming out more and more, but it is something that impairs people and can be impaired for the rest of their lives. I struggled along this path using every resource that was available to me and using my everything I could use, I used. I tried very, very hard. I went everywhere. I went to various solicitors, one after another. I put my trust in them. I went to the hospitals. I have been everywhere. I've tried everything. I have tried to expose it. I've tried to expose what's happened in the legal system. But every solicitor has compounded what's happened before. Each one has actually worked to undermine my case. Whilst they move forward just slightly with one thing, they're actually undermining the case in another way. Of course, because I'm slower now, my IQ has dropped quite a lot. I did manage, against the judgment of the solicitors, to get the reports I needed. They tried to divert me down other paths, onto psychiatrists, etc. I did not have a mental health problem. I have got no mental health issues on my medical record, except when I was experiencing the carbon monoxide and my heart was beating very fast because it was trying to get oxygen around my body. I was classified by my doctors as having anxiety, but of course this is quite natural. One would be anxious. But sorry, I'll get back to they've tried to define me as having a mental problem, but actually I have a brain injury, and I did in fact manage, against the all the tactics of the solicitors that I was employing, who tried to send me down the mental health route. I managed to get to the preeminent expert in this country, who done the necessary tests and the psychometric tests, and produced the report that shows that not only is my IQ dropped, but shows exactly the specific injuries that I have as a consequence. I then got the top toxicologist in this country also on carbon monoxide. He's since died, probably questionable circumstances. It seems that everybody who touched my case, because I was getting close to something, something happened to them. They were either taken off of it, or they got ill, or they died, or something seems to have happened along the way. But oh, there's so much to say and how to condense it into a few minutes. The solicitors, various solicitors, I've had 6 different sets of solicitors, all of them negligent. Every single set of solicitors were negligent. They all done something. They employed tactics like, for instance, putting your case in right at the too late, maybe a day too late. I have had all this fought in the courts, and I won on all of this actually. But I then eventually got a very good judgment from the Royal Courts of Justice, actually, from, I can't think of his name, but I can remember it later. This is part of my handicap, who was very upset by the whole case, and who actually asked all of them, the solicitors involved, to settle with me. And told them that that's what they should do and not waste any more time or any more money. And that he did say that it reflected very badly on the legal profession in this country. So that's all on record, okay? But despite that, and he also had ordered that they come back before him within period of, I can't remember exactly, less than 3 weeks, say 12 weeks. And despite all that, somehow, I don't know how, they managed to maneuver and manipulate things in a way that none of them went back before him. They got my case, part of it struck out, and various other things. I mean, so many things have happened. But I discovered that this judge, who clearly understood the case and was very angry about it and wanted to get it concluded, this is a long way back, when I tried to find out why he was not available any longer, I discovered that they'd actually sent him out on the circuit away from the High Court when he should have been dealing with my case. So I understand something of the problems that people experience, but nevertheless I still carried on, and I tried to sue the solicitors, and that's when I ran into more difficulties. And each one covering up for the other. They've all made pots of money. They've all said that I had a very good case. I defied them in getting all the reports I needed. I got the technical reports. I asked my solicitor to get an injunction to protect the central evidence. He made an excuse about that. I was advised to go to the court myself. I went to the court with a couple of minutes to spare. I got there and I saw the master. The master said, what you need is an injunction, because the central evidence, which was a boiler system, was being removed to discredit the whole case. I managed to get the injunction that evening myself. I got the injunction served from the court on the people who were going to take it out. And you will not believe, I can still not believe, that against all of this, I got another injunction following that myself, that they managed somehow to take these things out. So I've done everything I can do. Because that solicitor wouldn't get the injunction, I moved to another solicitor, and this last solicitor has kept me totally and utterly in the dark. What has now transpired is that this last solicitor, in cahoots with the legal aid and with the barrister, I knew when I went to this barrister it was all a complete stitch-up. They tried to undermine my case. They told me the value of my case was not anything like what had been claimed for. They told me all sorts of things. I didn't agree with them. So what then transpired was, because I was still fighting, I just want to say this final thing, I was still fighting on, they then got a psychiatrist, it's like what this man here has said, who never saw me, who I never agreed to see, who didn't know anything about my case. They gave him all my paperwork without my permission, and they got this psychiatrist. I have never seen the report. I've never met him. They've got him to go with the barrister and with the solicitor and the legal aid, and they have withdrawn all the legal aid and they've closed my case down, and now the solicitors are wanting me to pay the costs. So I don't really know where I go from here.